Hey guys, Joanne here with Newegg TV. I'm here to do an overview on this EVGA Hadron Air for air cooling Mini ITX computer case, and it comes with a 500-watt power supply. This is EVGA's first ever case, so I'm excited to unbox it. First up, let's get a 360 look at this case. It comes with a steel body, yet top and bottom made of steel as well, and just from the feel of it, it seems very sturdy and quality finish. And up at the front, you get a full glossy front. It's like got a mirror finish in it, so you can look at yourself and like possibly fix your makeup or whatever it is that you might do. Now this case measures, I'll give you both metric and in inches, so 169 millimeters or 6.6 inches wide, 305 millimeters or 12 inches tall, 308 millimeters deep or 12.1 inches. Up at the front, you get the EVGA logo as well as a large power button. Something to note about this case is that it does not come with a reset button, but maybe you won't need it. And down here is a kind of like a foot for the case, but it's only on one end, while there's a rubber piece here to keep this case in place. I'll show you once we go to the bottom, but this case kind of tilts at an angle, and it just helps cool the power supply, which is lining the bottom of the case. And here you see a rather large window, so you can see into your internal components. If you decide to install, let's say, a Titan or a GTX 780, you'll be able to see it just fine. At the back, you get a couple rubber grommets to thread your cables through, or water cooling tubes, but it is recommended for air cooling for this particular case. And next to that is a knockout for your input-output shield for your motherboard, 2 expansion slots, and a retention clip. Go ahead and unscrew that, flip it open in order to install your card, and flip it back to lock it up for some extra protection. And down here at the bottom is a 500-watt pre-installed power supply, 80+ gold rated, so it shouldn't run too loud. And here is a power switch, power port, as well as a 40mm exhaust fan. And it even has its own cute little grill that sticks out. Love it. Finally, on this side of the case, you get some ventilation holes here to help draw air in and cool your case. And next to that, your headphone and microphone jacks, as well as USB 3.0 ports. You get 2 of them. And above that, this is an eject button for your optical drive bay. Well, this is the openings for your disk to come out for a slim slot loading optical drive. And I will go over that on the inside. There is a tray provided in the accessories. Inside, you get a Hadron sticker. And what else do you get? You get 2 SATA connectors. One end is right angle. This is for connecting your drives. What else? Screws for mounting the slim optical drive, as well as other mounting screws. And here is what I am looking for. This is the tray that you will mount the slim optical drive in and slot it in like this in this place. And finally, what else do we have? A large cable clamp and a tiny one. This one is absolutely adorable. It looks like a tiny fat man. Do you see it? Anyway, and finally you get an EVGA case badge. And over here, of course, you get the power cable for the power supply that's inside this case, and a handy dandy user guide. Now I looked through here and it is pretty useful. It shows you how to install everything, as well as some of the specs for this particular case. I've removed these 2 screws here from these 2 spots at the top of the case, so we can go ahead and remove this top metal cover. As you can see, it has plenty of ventilation holes for the air to exhaust. So let's go ahead and slide this cover off. Comes off rather easily. Inside are your 2 pre-installed 120mm top exhaust fans. Now moving right along to the bottom, here's the feet that I was talking about earlier, only on one side, that angles the case, and the rubber strip that keeps your case in place on a smooth surface. And here are also a lot of ventilation holes for the bottom area to help cool the power supply. I removed the screws here on these 3 screw holes for the right side of the case. I'm going to remove the right side panel. The reason why they probably don't use thumb screws on this side as well is because there's really no room for cable management on this side. But I just wanted to take this off to show you one thing or two. So on this side, you'll notice there are some holes, but it's mainly to let air through. However, you'll notice that there is no cutout for an aftermarket heatsink. So what this means is that, see these 4 holes here, they are for the aftermarket coolers that only fit EVGA motherboards. However, of course, you can install other Mini ITX boards. It just won't be as easy to swap them in and out. Not that you would be very often anyway. Or you could always go with a stock cooler. Now let's go straight into the look at this case. So 3 plastic thumb screws here, and just slides right off. Here's another look at the window inside the case. First, let's start off at the bottom, which is where the power supply is. You'll notice that it's not your typical ATX form factor. Of course, fitting that in here would be almost impossible, but this is very slim and long, which are like the ones that you see in server builds. And the card would go just above that. So 10.5-inch clearance, or 267 millimeters. As for the CPU cooler, you get a cooler height of 140 millimeters. Now moving right along, let's tip this case. See the top, here's another look at the 2 120 millimeter top exhausts. And over here is your drive cage. It is not removable. Would have been very nice if it were, as it does take up a little bit of room, but it's nice that they include space for 2 drives. These are the drive sleds. Yeah, I'm just gonna take out one. You can include 3.5-inch drives, but there are also mounting points for 2.5-inch drives. And here is the mount for the tray for the slim optical drive. Now let's take off all of these cables from this tie. So give me just a moment, shouldn't take too long. There we are. First up are the, side panel and also front panel connectors. You should have, yeah, there we go, power button and LED, audio, as well as this 20-pin USB 3.0 connector. Now moving to the power supply cables. This is fully non-modular, as you can see. Would have been nice if they included a couple modular cables as well, but these are most of the cables that you may need for the case. So of course you get the 20+4-pin main connector. These cables are all sleeved, as you can see. So it'll help with the internal cooling as well as organization. And you also get 2 6+2-pin PCIe connectors for those high-end cards, which should fit most of those cards in this case. And you get 2 Molex. What is this? This is additional 2 Molex, so that makes 4 Molex connectors, 4+4-pin CPU plug, and 2 SATA connectors as well. Now for a little more info about the power supply, it's a single plus 12-volt rail at 40 amps and total 500 watts. And if I turn this to this side, you'll notice there are a couple more cable clamps aside from the ones that they've included on the side of the drive cage. Also, you get the 2 top fans connected to a Y splitter, so you only need to plug in 1 3-pin connector. One more thing is the weight. So this case, I don't have the side panels on there, but just pretend they're on there. And this case is 6 kilograms or 13.22 pounds. It actually feels quite heavy considering its weight. That wraps up our overview on this EVGA Hadron Mini ITX computer case. Now if you're looking for a water-cooled option, you should look into the Hadron Hydro, which should be coming out soon, so that is exciting. Anyway, I'm Joanne, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to our Newegg YouTube channel as well as our other YouTube channels. Thanks for watching Newegg TV, and we'll see you next time.